And thanks once again for those insights. Appreciate it. Well, that's TTK Prestige with some perspective. The markets come off. I mean, we're down to being up just 10 points. And let me just take a quick look at the Nifty intraday. We'll tell you the story. So the day's high was made at, actually right after open, 9:20 or so was the day's high. And from there, we've basically come off quite sharply. Just 5 points now. Even as we speak, things are getting more and more sober in that sense. On the in terms of contribution and what is really leading to this, if I can just take a quick look, Infosys is the number one name. So it's adding about 14 index point pressure downwards. There is Reliance, which has come off. It's adding about 10 points, 10 index points. And then there is TCS, HCL, Tech Mahindra. It's all IT. So Rima will have some blame to take. For
Nasdaq was the biggest loser amongst the indices in the US markets yesterday. So I guess that explains.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll take a quick break here, I think. We'll come. All right, what we'll do is we will go across and speak with, we'll speak about the aviation space. So there is consolidation, which is now finally appearing on the horizon. Singapore Airlines and Tata Sons have decided to merge Air India and Vistara. The move will create a new giant in the aviation industry. So how will the combined entity stack up against the likes of IndiGo and others? VR Mehta is former trustee Tata Sons and former director at Tata Motors. Devesh Agarwal is founder and editor at BangaloreAviation.com. And Mayur Malik is senior vice president research, auto and aviation at Asian Market Securities. Gentlemen, great to have all of you with us here. Appreciate your time. Mayur, if I can start with you. Okay, I think we'll have Mayur with us in just a bit. Devesh, what do you make of the announcement? It's been, I'm assuming, anticipated for a while. It's come through. What will it do for the combined efforts of the Tata Group to capture market share, and what does it mean for competitors like IndiGo?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. This is a kind of a bit of a mixed bag. You're right, it was sort of expected. There are benefits, of course, to the merger, consolidation, etc., route rationalization, all that. But I also would like to caution that, 18 years after Indian Airlines and Air India merged, there is still within that organization the mindset, oh, I'm an Indian Airlines person, I'm an Air India person. And now you're going to add the mix of Vistara. And Vistara, if you see in terms of its human capital, was a much younger team, and they had a different method of thinking. And going forward, how that the entire organizations may merge. It is the humans inside it that are going to drive the organization forward. The Tatas also, I think, to the best of my knowledge, it's in the works that they are going to sort of separate Air India Express and merge that with AirAsia India. So they are going to create a separate low-cost brand, and then this is going to, Air India itself would probably will remain as a full-service brand. It's not just an issue of market share. Everybody tends to focus on market share. Getting market share is not difficult. Market share in India doesn't assure profitability. Indian customers or Indian passengers are so price sensitive that, tomorrow, if Air India wants to catch up with IndiGo in market share, they just reduce their fares in half. Trust me, they will be the market leader. So that is not, a market share is really, honest to God, not a good indication of, you can say, performance. Profitability is. And right now, it is going to cost both the Tatas and Singapore Airlines a significant amount of money. They're looking at an investment of upwards of $2 to $3 billion into Air India going forward.
Fair point, especially about just bring down the costs, bring down the airfares, and you're going to get market share that's going to zoom. Mr. Mehta, you have an insight into the Tata Group. Can you tell us in this case, why is 1 + 1 an acquisition more than 2?
I think that is a very basic thing. A lot of synergies. There are a lot of activities which can be combined, and that is what synergy means. So Now, all the four merging entities have their different, areas, different departments for doing the same thing. When you merge them, that is where you get the synergy. You're able to rationalize the workforce, and that really brings in cost effectiveness. This is a very big thing that happens when you merge. This is the basic principle when one of the basic principles when people try to have mergers. So I think that will come into play here also in a very big way. And the other thing is that with this, you see, I think the concerns that will require a lot of investments, those are very true. But the point is that the Tatas have the resources, and that's why they can make a success of it. If it was a smaller player, it would be difficult for them to bring in so much of money. Now with this, Singapore Airlines also coming on board, the merged entity, I think that will make it easier for both of them to go forward. So this is what is going to happen. And the other thing about the merger of the staff, that's always a thorny issue. But Tatas have been known to be having great skills in human relations. And they have had, examples of previous acquisitions and mergers where they've been able to smoothly have a merged entity, and all these problems of different backgrounds and different conditions and all have been solved to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders. So I think it may be a process which will take some time, but given the background of the Tatas, their reputation, their credibility, particularly for the staff, you see, the credibility issue is a very important thing. That if they say something, they'll do that, they'll carry forward with that, and everyone is on board from the senior management. So these are the things which will go in favor of this merger, making a success.
Right. Noted that point, Mr. Mehta, but let's get in Mr. Mayur Milap as well. Hi, Mayur. Tell us about the listed stocks. You're going to be having a far formidable player right now, and it could pose a bigger challenge. How would you approach the listed stocks?
Yeah, hi, morning. In fact, if you ask me, I think this is one of the best things to happen, even for the listed play. Now, go back pre-pandemic and you'll see that, even when crude was lower, the IndiGo particularly, let's say, was making a spread, which is your difference between RASK and fuel CASK, about 2.2. Last 5 quarters, despite crude costs being so high, they managed to do this at 2.4. Clearly tells you that the Indian skies have seen much more discipline in pricing. And this is clearly possible because now you have a set of professionals who are running the Indian skies. Whether you call it the Tata team, whether it is IndiGo, you now have AirAsia coming in. So I think a lot has changed, and this is a change for good.
Mayur, sorry to interrupt you. We can't hear you very clearly, so we'll try and reconnect. In the meanwhile, Devesh, what impact is this going to have on the other players? Say, SpiceJet, InterGlobe Aviation, AirAsia Air. You're on mute, sir.
My apologies. I don't know. Somehow that thing keeps getting muted. My sincere apologies. I was going to say that definitely we are heading into a kind of a duopoly where you will have IndiGo on one side and you'll have, the Tata-controlled airlines on the other side. And so it is going to put significant pressure on SpiceJet, on Go First, and on AirAsia. And honest to God, I don't see at least one of them surviving beyond, say, 2024. It might even happen in 2023. So there's definitely going to be further consolidation. There will be shakeout. Within the merger itself also, see, there are a lot of things that are left kind of unanswered. For instance, Air India doesn't have a premium economy class. Of course, they're going to have a premium economy class on those Delta 777s that they have leased, because Delta has, the business class, premium economy, and economy class. They don't have a first class. Vistara has got the premium economy, but Air India domestic does not have it. So what is going to happen? It's not just this is a lot of this thing. And also, if you look at it from a standpoint of frequent flyer, Air India is a full-fledged member of the Star Alliance. So their tie-in is, of course, with Singapore Airlines, Lufthansa, Air China, United, etc. Vistara, if you go and see, has been signing I wouldn't use kind of code share alliances with one world carriers, Japan Airlines, British Airways. What is going to happen to all these things? Obviously, being Air India being a member of Star Alliance will not be allowed to have a partnership or any kind of relationship, to the best of my knowledge, with any of the One World or non-Star Alliance carriers. So this merger has got a lot more to be, sort of a lot of things have to be put together by the Tatas themselves. But yes, this will be a good, formidable. I have been advocating that this is what the Tatas should be doing. Even about a year ago on CNBC, I said the same thing. Tata should take a low-cost brand, make a separate low-cost brand, make a separate full-cost brand, and then they need the scale to take on IndiGo, because IndiGo is without a doubt the 800-pound gorilla in the market. So it is going to be good, but it's also going to be a little bad for the Indian consumer. Don't expect low fares, the low fare regime to kind of continue. Expect a gentle climb, but it will be a climb slowly.
I just hope that we get a dip and then a climb. Because, fares are already through the sky, so to speak, pun intended.
Yes.
I mean, but good points there, Devesh. And there are lots of questions we don't know answers to right now. But also that other point that you expect at least one sort of competitor not to survive, to go under, maybe in 24 or even as early as 23, perhaps, taken over, consolidation, that route. Mayur is back with us. Mayur, sorry, your audio had issues. I hope we've been able to fix it. The one aviation name investors own, they could, I guess, own widely is IndiGo. So my question is very, very specific to IndiGo. How does this change things at the margin for IndiGo, and how investors will view prospects for that company from here out?
Yeah, so I was, so this is the same thing that is highlighting that go to pre-pandemic time, and when crude costs or crude prices were lower, and you would see that IndiGo was making a spread, which is your RASK minus fuel CASK, about 2.2. Now, in the last 5 quarters, despite crude costs being so high, they've actually managed to do a 2.4 spread, which clearly tells you that the Indian skies are much more disciplined now. You have a host of professionals, about 25% being managed by the Tata Group, about 55, 56 with IndiGo. Then there are about 7% each with, Go Air and Spice, which of course they've seen, their market share fading away. But having said that, I would say that as far as the companies are concerned, they are definitely in a happy space compared to what they were 3 years back. And I would expect this discipline to continue going forward as well.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We'll leave it there. Mayur had a bunch of other questions, but we're completely out of time. Hopefully, we'll have you back on this very IndiGo-specific discussion later on. Mayur, Devesh, and Mr. Mehta, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much, all of you, for being with us here on CNBC TV 18. We'll take a break. Mitesh is going to be back with us. The market's taken a bit of a dip, just 20 points higher on the Nifty. What next with Mitesh in just a bit?